Feels live, very extreme. Baltimore bridge collapse.
Says he's aware of the incident and is in contact with
Disaster
local
incident.
authorities. Well, the latest we just had from the
UK 24.
is that they received the report at 1:27 a.m.
The USA.
and that the 948-foot container ship Dali
2024 as well.
hit the Francis Scott Key Bridge and it subsequently collapsed, as we know. And the Coast Guard says they have multiple response units deployed for active search.
So it collapsed at 1:30 a.m. this morning in American USA time. They are 5 hours behind us.
On the scene include small boats from Station
in Baltimore
and Station Curtis Bay, and a helicopter from Air Station Atlantic City. There are also multiple state and local agencies on the scene, according to the Coast Guard. And they say also that it's unknown at this time if there are any casualties. Now, what we also have heard from them is that, in fact, from the Baltimore Fire Department, they have confirmed that as many as 20 individuals may be in the water, along with what they say are numerous
holy moly
and possibly a tractor trailer. And you can see from the pictures there that the
humidity crickets, bless their souls.
A major
Pray for America, guys.
Road that has been cut off when this bridge collapsed, and the traffic has
Our
been
cousins are having a real tough time with it in that part of America at the moment.
Monitor these scenes there, which is a developing.
It's a rare event, guys, in America.
Underway, I should say. Simon Jones is with us monitoring this story, and the big urgency is trying to find those people in the water, isn't it, Simon?
Yes, and particularly as at this time of year, the temperature of the water will be around 10 degrees.
That is
so
cold,
when
man.
someone goes into water, they will inevitably suffer an initial cold shock. And then the danger is that people panic, and that can add to the body shutting down in a situation like this. So really time is of the essence for the emergency services. We're told that it's feared around 20 people may be in the water. That figure has been rising during the past few hours. Initially, we were told potentially it was 7 people and a number of vehicles. Now we're told around 20, although the emergency services are
vehicles over the bridge.
That situation could change pretty quickly. I think what is difficult
disaster.
is knowing just how many people
what a nasty,
they're actually looking
horrible.
for at the moment, because you can see from the pictures in Baltimore, it is still
extreme.
Dark. So they're dealing with a situation where they're having to coordinate this rescue operation with limited light, despite the number of emergency services personnel there. Also, what will be adding to the complication is this bridge that has come down is a huge structure, about 3 kilometers long. And if you imagine all that infrastructure coming down in one go and ending up in the water, this is going to be a very unsafe area for the Coast Guard teams to have to search, and they also have to take
all that debris on the floor and everything else. It's quite, and plus it's dark still.
So time is of the essence, but a very
doesn't help.
tricky situation they are having to deal with, and that's why the fire service, who are leading this operation along with the Coast Guard, are talking about this being a mass casualty event.
And I just Baltimore Fire Department saying as many as 20 individuals may be in the water, as I mentioned earlier, along with numerous vehicles,
holy moly,
tractor trailer. Was it your impression that there were workers on the bridge and there was some maintenance being carried out when this happened, or what was your impression of what was happening when the incident happened?
It's interesting because when we're hearing from the fire service, they are talking about potentially 20 workers being in the water. So it's possible that there was some sort of overnight maintenance taking place on the bridge. We haven't yet got clarity on that from the authorities, but they're certainly talking about workers. But ultimately, we know potentially around 20 people are feared to be in the water, and we know that this is a hugely
there's a ship, guys,
and a
hit
hugely
this bridge.
important part of the infrastructure. So there were obviously a number of vehicles and people on that bridge at about 1:30 in the morning when the bridge came down. Those extraordinary pictures, and the bridge completely disappearing. Now we're told that around 11.5 million
1:30 a.m. this morning, that was in USA, American, Baltimore,
so it
bridge
gives you a
time.
sense of how busy it is, but also really busy in terms of shipping. Now Baltimore Port is the largest in the US for specialised cargo, and data from marine traffic is currently showing a lot of congestion in the area around the bridge, because that will be a very unsafe area at the moment, and it's estimated that about 800,000 vehicles passed through the port in 2023, moving around 1.3 million tons of imported cargo. So it gives you a sense just how busy not just the bridge is, but shipping underneath that bridge. And we understand that around 1:30 in the morning, it was actually a container ship heading to Sri Lanka, a Singapore flagged ship called the Dalai. Now, we're told from the owners of that ship that the crew on board the container ship have been accounted for. There will be an investigation launched into how it was able to strike part of this bridge,
Yeah.
why the bridge came down so quickly. Inevitably,
Very,
bridges like
very
this will be built to
interesting,
withstand
but
a
very
degree
good question.
of collision, but this was a huge container
Look at
ship,
that, guys.
300 meters long. So one expert we were talking to, a structural engineer, was saying actually there's
Holy
only
moly.
so much weight, so much of an impact
Awful,
a bridge
guys.
like this
See
can
that shit
have.
hitting it?
There will be
Collapse.
an investigation.
That's 1:30 a.m. this morning
about
in Baltimore
how
time,
this
in USA,
structure of the
America.
bridge, but at the moment,
That is tense, man.
very much on that search operation, which is very much ongoing as we speak.
Simon Jones, thank you very much indeed. And as Simon was saying, that's a very long cargo vessel, the Dali.
Is it?
And
Wow.
the owners of the Singapore flagged ship said that it had collided with the pillar of the bridge around 1:30 a.m. and all crew members, including the 2 pilots on board, have been accounted for. Let's speak to our business reporter, Katie Silver. So Katie, this is a very, very large cargo vessel, isn't it? And it was heading for Sri Lanka, we understand.
Wow.
That's right. So as Simon mentioned, the shipping company is located here in Singapore, the Synergy Marine Group, about a 15-minute drive that way. It's a Singapore flagged container ship, the Dali, as he mentioned, hitting that Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. Now, we have a statement from the company. We have reached out as well to try and see if they will come on the program and to give us more information. What we understand so far is that while the exact cause, this is according to the company in a statement, while the exact cause of the incident is yet to be determined, the Dali has now mobilised its qualified individual incident response service.
Blimey.
As you mentioned, all crew members, including the 2 pilots, have already accounted for. No reports of incidents on the ship, but we're also hearing that they are cooperating with authorities. Now, according to vesselfinder.com, the ship was built in 2015. It's 9 years old, 300 metres long. So as we say, a very long vessel, and indeed making that journey from Baltimore to Colombo in Sri Lanka.
Give us an idea of the scale of the impact of this on shipping, because as Simon was mentioning, that's quite a big cargo port, isn't it, Baltimore?
It is. It's hugely important. And of course, this comes at a very difficult time for shipping. We have all of the issues going on in the Red Sea, the diversions around in Africa.
Suez
Shipping
Canal.
is a hugely important part of the industry here in Singapore, a huge part of the economy. We have many companies around the world have their shipping headquarters here in Singapore. So it's sort of unsurprising that they are based here. From a cursory glance, it does seem much of their operations have begun in India. Most of the high-level top executives are Indian, but we are still waiting to find out more exactly from the company, hoping to hear back from them soon.
And Katie, at the moment, obviously, it's at stages of investigations. Any clues from the company at all as to whether they have any idea why something like this might have happened?
We've really got no idea at this time. As I say, waiting to hear back. Huge pressure from, you can imagine, many thousands of ton pressure, such a big vehicle hitting that bridge. But we are waiting to hear back more exactly what could have caused it. It's very unusual. And as mentioned, it could really be quite catastrophic, more than 20 people in the water, many thousands of tons, as I say. And we're also hearing there's lots of diesel fuel as well that has been spilled in the water.
God.
Thank you very much indeed, Katie Silver. Thank you.
Environmental disaster as well, guys.
And we continue to monitor the story where a very dramatic collapse of that bridge in Baltimore, the Francis Scott Key.
Awful
and that's it happening
incident.
down the right of your screen. The moment the
Crikey,
container ship hit one of the pillars of the bridge,
terrible.
and the bridge started to collapse like that, as all kind of concertinas moving into the water. It was described initially as a partial collapse, but it does seem to entirely collapse now after being hit by the container ship. Baltimore City Fire Department is currently at the scene. And they're saying that as many as 20 individuals may be in the water.
It'll increase as the day goes by, guys.
Including a tractor trailer. And the rescue operation to try and find those people in the water is underway with a helicopter and boats as well.
Who subscribes to my channel on San James. May the force be with you always. Quite support the needs of the many. Outweigh the needs. If you listen to my friend's Bike and Gym, but every Friday, 3 to 5 pm, ITF Friday thing. So Heels radio station show every Friday. And it's my friend, you name it, Shane with Cindy Lou every Friday at 10 am, 12 am live on the Surrey Hills radio station show every Friday. And this is my friend John and Lars show every Sunday at 9 am to 12 am live on the Waking radio station every Sunday. These Sky show on San John's. Might be happy, guys. Wish and hope for the best for these people. They'll save this. They'll save themselves. Hope they make it and survive. Hopefully no one dies. These Sky on San John's. Bye, everyone.